Hello friends and potential friends. Well, let's see, today is February 4th of 2023. It's about 12 o'clock noon. The weather guessers say we're going to have a high of 67 today. It's currently 72. So they're getting their averages up. And it looks like my salad season is over. In my last video, I noticed one of the lettuce plants that was starting to bolt, and now it looks like just about all of them are. And most of them are starting to turn bitter. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to try to get seeds from these or not. Maybe I will, though I've still got quite a few seeds in my seed stash. But on the bright side, we do still have garden peach tomatoes that are ripening. 5 or 6 of them out here that are just about ready to pick. And incidentally, when I noticed that first lettuce plant starting to bolt a week or so ago, I came out here and gathered up as much as I could and put it in the crisper in the freezer. So I've still got a few days worth of salads to go, but not for much longer. But one season comes to an end and another season begins. I know a lot of people have been putting seeds in the ground lately, and I'm not behind them. Here in the lab, I've got, those 2 pairs back in the back. Neither one of those seem to be growing, but I'm going to give them a chance. Still waiting to see something pop up in the olives. And this morning I did take the 1 pear cutting that's been growing leaves, and I sprinkled a little bit of rooting hormone around the base of it and put it in the soil. And I hope it makes it through. If not, I'll have to go next door and get some more cuttings. But meanwhile, I've had a lot of things sprouting. Got a few Praxis cherry tomatoes here that I moved over this morning. Some Floridad tomatoes. There's another dozen Praxis cherries back there. I'm going to scatter them all over the garden, so I won't be very far from my garden candy. I did find a few homestead tomatoes that started sprouting, and a few garden peach. And those last 6 yogurt cups have California Wonder bell pepper seeds in them that started germinating the other day. I do still have a few trays of tomatoes that are sprouting. There's garden peach there. There's some 1 or 2 Praxis cherries back there. I got all the homesteads out of there, and so far my Everglades have not sprouted at all. And then finally, right over here, I've got about 10 sprouted asparagus plants. Those are going to be going into the patient's garden pretty soon, and they're coming up pretty good. I actually had to rescue 2 of those because one of them showed up over here in the olives, and the other one showed up in with one of the tomatoes. I guess I didn't wait long enough before I recycled that soil. But anyway, it sure feels like spring down here. Now I know we could still get some more cold weather, but I've decided I'm not going to accept any more cold weather. I'm ready for spring, and some of these are going to be going outside probably in the next few weeks. Well, out here in the main beds, the beans are getting a little bit taller. Cilantro's still growing. Radishes are still growing. Elephant garlic is still growing. The broccoli, I'm keeping a close eye on that guy because it's probably going to bolt any day now. And as soon as I see signs of bolting, that thing's coming off of there and going in the house. There is another one over on the other side that's starting to grow ahead. There's some more beans. These are bush beans, contenders. And they're growing real good too. Still have some Swiss chard, kale, collards. That lettuce down there is starting to get bitter. And over here, the cauliflower is not doing much of anything. It's growing good. It's just not forming any heads. And as you may be able to see, the bees and other pollinators are just loving that Asian cabbage. And I see a bunch of seed pods starting to form over there, so I'll be getting some seeds out of them before long. The other cabbage still doing good. A couple of them are actually starting to grow heads. They're trying to. That one right there is starting to get solid. And I believe this one here was starting to get solid. So I might get a little bit of cabbage out of them. Maybe I'll make some more sauerkraut this year. But I'll be collecting seeds off of that Asian cabbage. And incidentally, I can't eat them anymore. They're just too bitter. But everything else seems to be pretty happy in here. And so that's the current state of the garden. And I'll see you next time.